Okay, we're going to look at the back side of the Unit 2 review. This very first question, we did do serial nearing class, but I do want to review it with you very quickly just so that you have that before your test, should you be studying. It says an expression is shown. Place parentheses in the expression above so that the expression has a value of 36. So really, you have two options. A, if you look at the one beside it, it doesn't give you any answer choices, so it really is trial and error. So you would just randomly start by grouping them together. So maybe I would decide to first put a grouping around the first two numbers, solve it, and see if that gave me the answer that they were looking for. If it didn't, then try another one. Again, maybe this time I'll do the next two numbers, put the groupings around it, and do it that way. And you would just trial and error until you get the answer with a value of 28. In this case, it actually gave you answer choices, so you could just go through and try it. Take letter A, write it on a scrap piece of paper, rewrite that entire expression, and solve it using PEMDAS, remembering that you would do the groupings, the parentheses part first, and see does it equal the answer given. If it doesn't, then you would move on and try the next one until you finally get one that has a value of 36. Let's look at the next one. The next one is just what is the value of the expression, solve, and show your work. Obviously, we know you can't get an answer without showing our work. So when I'm doing this, you guys can do it on a scrap piece of paper. I don't have one with me currently. I know, I'm unprepared. It happens. But I'm just going to go through and I'm going to use my order of operations. And so I would do, when I'm doing PEMDAS, wow. Okay, phew, I thought the pen wasn't going to work at all. That would have been a problem. I had to get out of here and find one. Okay, so PEMDAS, and I'm going to circle the M and D because I know that when I have multiplication and division, I work it left to right. And I'm going to circle my A and S because I know when I have addition and subtraction, I'm going to work it left to right. So when I go through PEMDAS, I know I'm going to do I have any parentheses? Yes, I do, and it's not necessarily parentheses, it is brackets, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to do this part first. 4 plus 6 is 10. Since I already have done my groupings, I don't need to drop those down, but I'm going to drop it down everything else to create an equivalent numerical expression. Now I'm going to look. Now I have 1/2 times 10 minus 9. Circle my groupings. And when I circle my groupings, I'm going to look, should I multiply first or divide first? In this instance, I want to multiply first. 1/2 times 10. What is half of 10, or do the reciprocal, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now I have 5 minus 9, so what I should realize, and unfortunately when I made the sheet, clearly I made it super late at night because there is an error. I can't really do 5 minus 9. I mean, when you get into middle school, you'll do 5 minus 9, and you'll find out that it's -4, but you will not have any negative numbers on your test. So if you got this far and you're scratching your head, shame on me. That's totally my fault, but that is your answer. Hopefully you at least understood the steps. Let's look at the question to the right. Okay, again, I'm going to write PEMDAS just as a little visual reminder. Circle my addition, subtraction, my multiplication, division. So I'm going to look at, do I have multiplication and division? If I do those two, then do I have addition and subtraction? And remember, addition and subtraction is always your last step. So look here. I'm going to circle this, and that's my little hint for you. You should circle them too so you make sure they stand out. I have multiplication, addition, and division. Do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? No, when we talked about you won't see exponents in 5th grade. That is at 6th. We might preview it at the end of the year to get ready for 6th, but that is 6th grade. Now, do I have multiplication or division? Yes, I have multiplication and division. So since I have both of them, I'm going to work them left to right. So which comes first? Left to right? Multiplication comes first. So I'm actually going to be multiplying 1/2 times 48 first. So what is half of 48, or 48 divided by 2? So if you don't know what half of 48 is, come over here to the side and actually work out 48 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2. How many times can 2 go into 4? Right, 2 times 2 is 4. So when I subtract that, I have 0 left over. Drop down my 8. 8 divided by 4. Or how many times can 2 go into 8. Right, 4 times 2 is 8. Therefore, 48 divided by 2 is 24. So now I'll go back over here to my expression and plug it in, 24. Now I'll drop everything else down and create an equivalent numerical expression. And again, I should be doing this on a separate sheet of paper. I just forgot to bring one in here, and since my kids have not yet figured out where I'm hiding, I really don't want them to find out. I'm just going to stay in here. So now look at your two operations. We have addition and division. Which am I going to do next? Right, if I'm looking at PEMDAS, I don't have any parentheses, I don't have any exponents, but I do have division, so I'm going to divide before I moved on to addition and subtraction. So 56 divided by 4. Again, if you don't know what 56 divided by 4 is, go over to the side and do it. 56 divided by 4. So 5 divided by 4. If I have 5 cookies, I want to share with 4 friends. How many cookies are they each going to get? Right, 5 divided by 4 can only go in one time. So if I'm giving one friend times 1 cookie times 4 friends, 1 times 4, I got rid of 4. How many cookies do I have left over? 1. Now I'm going to regroup it with my 1s. Now I have 16. 16 divided by 4. Or 4 times what is 16? All right, 4 times 4 is 16. So 56 divided by 4 is 14. And again, just as a reminder, if you need to pause the video at any point to help you catch up, please pause it, think about it, don't just rush through it. This is your test coming up. I want you to do your best. So now you just have double digit addition. And again, if you cannot add it this way, ta-da, go over to the side, work it out. I'm going to have 24 plus 14. There's nothing wrong with going over to the side and working it out. If doing this little extra step over here on the side helps you get the right answer, then great. At least you got the right answer. If you can do it this way and say 4 plus 4 is 8, go to your 10s, 2 plus 1 is 3, great. But if you can't, there's nothing wrong with doing it over here. Boom. So the answer is 38. Let's look at the next one. So the next one tells you select all the equivalent values for the expression above. The way to solve that really is to take this expression, write out and solve it. And then again, each time you've done a step, you've created that equivalent value. All these was equivalent value, equivalent value, equivalent value. I'm going to do the same thing with this expression. So I'm just going to rewrite it so that I can work it out. 2 times parentheses 48 minus 12 divided by 4 plus 5. Look at that. That's expression. What would be your first operation? Do you have any parentheses? Right, so within those parentheses you actually have 2 operations. You have subtraction and division. Which do you do first, subtract or divide? Right, we divide first, so you need to do 12 divided by 4 first. If you don't know 12 divided by 4, do the inverse operation. 4 times what is 12? Right, 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. Then you're going to take and drop everything else down and create an equivalent value or an equivalent numerical expression. Now, since I haven't used all the numbers within my parentheses yet, I'm going to drop down those parentheses still. And now I already have one equivalent value, but I'm not going to look at my answer choices until I finish. Just it's more efficient that way. Now again, do I have parentheses? Yeah, I still have an operation within my parentheses, 48 minus 3. So 8 minus 3 is 5, and then drop down your 4, 45. Now I've done all numbers within my groupings, so I don't need to drop down my groupings. And so now I have 2 times 45 plus 5. So 2 times 45 plus 5, what am I going to do next? I have multiplication and addition. Very good, I have no more parentheses, I don't do exponents, The next one is multiplication or division. And so since I have multiplication, that'll be my next step. 45 times 2, if you don't know it in your head. I saw one student today do it as repeat addition, 45 plus 45. But 45 times 2, go ahead and work it out. Take a moment, work it out. So while you're working it out, I'm going to go ahead and work it out along with you. 5 times 2 is 10. So drop down your 0. Root up your 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 more is 9. Therefore, 45 times 2 is 90. Some of you might have already known that in your head, and that's great. And then drop down. Now I have another equivalent value. And join those two numbers together, and I have another equivalent value. So each of these has an equivalent value. All I've done is simplified. Each time I brought it down, I simplified it to an equivalent value, an equivalent numerical expression. So look at A. A says 2 times 45 plus 5. Do any of these say that? Yes, I actually have that right here. So A is correct. A is an equivalent numerical value. Look at B, 18 plus 5. Nope, none of those are 18 plus 5, so B does not work. Look at C. Right, C has an equivalent value. Right there it is. C works. Look at D. No, I don't see anything with that number 35, so D definitely does not work. Look at E, 2 times 50. Nope. Look at F, 90 plus 5. Yes. So 3 of those happen to work. 3 of those have an equivalent value to the original expression. So again, every time you're dropping your operations down, you're creating an equivalent numerical expression. It has the exact same value. So that would be the same for here. You would just rewrite it out, half of 56 plus 5 divided by 4, and create that equivalent value. I'm going to do just one more with you because I know this video is getting a little long, and then it takes like 5 hours to upload, which is super annoying. But I have explained to you, and actually I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to do the one right beside it because we talked about this one a little bit in class. But on this one, again, any time for both of them, you're trying to find somebody else's error. Your strategy is to rewrite it right beside it and work it out. Don't do it on a separate sheet of paper because I want you to look at it side by side so that you can compare your step to their step and see where their first error is. If you get the first error, if you miss the first error, everything else after that is going to be wrong as well. So in PEMDAS, what am I going to do first? Right, we have parentheses, and within that we have division and addition. In PEMDAS, what do we do first? Right, in PEMDAS we actually divide first. So 12 divided by 4, or what times 4 equals 12? Right, 3. So that's my first step. I got 3 plus 2. 9 times, dropping everything else down. I've created an equivalent numerical expression with an equivalent value, like this. Now does mine match? 9 times, 3 plus 2, minus 8. So far they were good in the first step. Let's look at the next step. What am I going to do next? Right, again, I still have numbers inside those parentheses, so I'm going to do 3 plus 2 is 5, and drop everything else down. 9 times, minus 8, equivalent numerical expression, equivalent value. We said that one worked. Does this one match? No. I added 3 plus 2, and they didn't add that 3 plus 2. What did they do? Because they have a 27. How did they get that 27? Right, so what's likely is they forgot about those groupings, and they did 9 times 3 gave them 27, and then they dropped the rest down. So the error is in which step? Right, the error is in step number 2. So hopefully this helps you with the backside. I'm sure that you can use this information to complete the other remaining questions. Feel free to skip this one up top only because I know that you could spend hours on this and cry all night, but I really don't need you to do that. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Please take your time. Feel free to comment if you have any questions. Make sure that you're studying for your tests, and I wish you all well.